How we doing, everybody? Dami here for Who-Bangin Sports Talk, back with another college basketball tournament breakdown. This one's going to be the MEAC. 8 teams in the MEAC playing in this tournament. It's going to start on Wednesday the 12th with the championship game on Saturday at 1 p.m. What I found interesting was that the semifinal game is on Friday night, so it's going to be a quick turnaround for this championship game. Just something to keep back in the back of your mind as far as how the teams played Friday night, if it goes into overtime or something, um, what kind of defense we played, did any injuries happen, a quick turnaround the next day, just something to keep in the back of the mind. Sometimes it doesn't matter, that kind of stuff, but sometimes it does, so just a little nugget. But anyway, like I said, there's 8 teams in this MEAC, and Norfolk State is the leader. Well, they're co-leaders to win this championship at plus 125. They're co-leaders with the South Carolina State, who was the new addition to this conference. Actually, I think this is their first year playing. But let's talk about these two teams first. Let's talk about first of all how this championship game is played over the years. In 21 and 22, Norfolk State did win. Norfolk State also has played in 5 of the last 7 championship games, so they got the experience playing in these games. And that means a lot in conference tournaments, especially against teams that are young, maybe teams that are freshman laden, maybe teams that are new, like South Carolina, to the conference. When it comes to tournaments, it's a little bit different than regular season play. But these two teams. Oh, and just another quick thing about Norfolk State. They are playing in Norfolk, Virginia, not on their campus, but in their home city. So it's kind of like a home game for them. It's an arena that they've played in before. So keep that in mind again, for Norfolk State. They got a couple little advantages there. But let's talk about these two teams. Like I said, they're the two top, and they're two top teams. And they did split this year. There, when they played, they went 1-1. They both won their home games. Norfolk won their home game on OT, 69-67. So they only scored, under 140 points in overtimes. That was a defensive battle. It was also a game. I looked at the box score quick. Norfolk missed a bunch of foul shots. Didn't have their usual good shooting night, so that led a little bit to that lower score, especially like I said in overtime. Now South Carolina, when they played South Carolina State, when they played home, they won 91-88. So it was a totally different game, almost 180 points scored in that one. So it was a totally different game being played. So it's kind of hard to figure out how they would play each other this time. But that being said, they are pretty close, and they're close in numbers too. Norfolk State, number 1 in adjusted offensive efficiency, number 1 in turnover percentage on offense, number 1 in defensive rebound percentage, number 1 in the 2-point shooting, and defending the 2-point shot. These are all conference numbers, by the way. South Carolina State, same conference numbers. Number 1 in adjusted defense efficiency. Their turnover percentage on defense, number 1. Offensive rebounding, number 1. So they get those second chance shots, South Carolina State. That's big. And their free throw rate is better than Norfolk, better than anyone else in the conference, also at number 1. South Carolina State, another thing where I like them to beat a Norfolk State, if it comes down to them playing each other, is they're 4.5% better from the 3-point line. So they shoot their 3 points 4.5% better than Norfolk, and they also defend the 3-point better. So keep both those into mind. I think South Carolina has an edge. Who else has an edge though in this tournament? And this is a kind of tournament where it could be wide open. It's a kind of tournament where we can see maybe an upset in this. No one's, such a big favorite. There are plus 125. It's nothing like some of the other conference tournaments. Like I had a breakdown last night about the Southland that has McNeese at minus 500. So it's a little bit different situation in this MEAC. What I do though want to talk about is just two other teams. Howard, for instance, last 2 years winner was Howard. This year they're 12-1. They're number 1 in effective field goal percentage on offense and defense in the conference. They also are number 1 in the conference in free throw percentage, and they were second in the 2-point and 3-point percentage on offense. They also are number two in defending the 3 point. So another team that can score, that can defend. But the thing about Howard, you would say, well, at 12-1, that's not a bad, maybe a bad look to try to catch a price. But they didn't play South Carolina State or Norfolk State, really the two best in the conference. They didn't play them well. Howard lost by double digits in both meetings against SC State and Norfolk State, including back-to-back losses to those teams to finish out the season. A team that I kind of like, and if I was going to take a shot, is the 16-1 shot NC Central. It's a team I might try to back, especially in the first games. That's depending on, what the point spread is. I believe they played Delaware State, who isn't such a bad team. They match up pretty well. I think NC Central though could be the better team, and at 16-1, they have a chance of maybe making some noise. Let's say in this conference. What I liked about one thing about Howard too, I wanted to mention is they do have the two conference leading scorers, Marcus Dockery and Blake Harper, both both guys that are top scorers in the conference. The other top scorers, as a matter of fact, are Delaware State, and that's Robert Smith and Martese Robinson. But like I said, these two teams have some good scorers, but overall, it's going to be tough for them to beat an SC State team or a Norfolk team. But it definitely could happen. Like I said, I would, if I'm going to take, I would take South Carolina State as a favorite to win the tournament at plus 125. Not such a bad price. And I would also, if we're going to take a shot, take a look at NC Central at 16-1, even leading up to the tournament. Here's some betting trends, and then we'll end this breakdown. These betting trends seem to go along with a lot of the conference betting trends when it comes to small favorites. This one is under 5 points or less, highly profitable. 13-9 straight up, which is okay, but 18-4 ATS, 81.8%. So you get that under five favorite. They don't win all the time, but they do cover at almost an 82% clip, and that's through the quarterfinal round. When it comes to the semifinals, the favorites are 9-4, sorry, straight up and ATS at a 70% surge. MEAC Championship games went under the total 8 of the last 10 conference championship games. That's 80%. And to add to that, and why I like these trends, first of all, you guys know me. I love playing totals, and I play a lot of unders. Extreme totals, just the way it's written down. I'm going to read exactly how it's written down. Extreme totals have shown definitive under results in the MEAC tournament since 2015. Totals of more than 148 are 12-1 to the under. That's over 92%. And those games that were 132, they even went under 10-3, 76.9%. So a lot of totals went under in these championship games. And listen, I talk about it a lot. Don't be afraid to play these totals when you see a 132, 133. More times than not, you're going to see those games go under. Houston is a perfect example of that. Cincinnati is another example of that. Virginia's another one. These teams play slow. I bet a lot of Houston games on the 132 that a couple people would say to me, man, you're going to play under? That's such a low score. I could go over it so easily. But with Houston, for some reason, they go under that 132, 133 all the time. They just finished the game the other night where they only scored 127 points. So my point being that don't let numbers scare you sometimes because you know there's also a thing in overall a general trend in college basketball that the highest total of the day usually goes over. So keep that in mind. A lot of those teams when you see 176, over 180, something like that, they still go over. So anyway, keep that in mind when we're betting this conference tournament. But that's what I got for you. This is the MEAC starting on Wednesday, ending on Saturday. Hope this helps you with a breakdown. This is Dominic Gunn. I'll be back with some more conference tournament breakdowns for Who-Bangin Sports Talk. Have a good day. Thanks for listening.